Yes, Merry Christmas everyone, and welcome to a slightly different kind of festive special. While most people are tucking into turkey and mince pies today, I'm taking a look back at the very worst breakfast items I've reviewed throughout the whole of 2025. Over the past year, I've eaten more full English components than Santa's had sherries, and along the way, a few items have, well, let's just say, they didn't exactly fill me with Christmas cheer. Every item you're about to see comes from a full review I filmed earlier in the year, and if you want to watch any of those in full, you'll find them all neatly organised in my All Reviews playlist, the link's in the description. So in today's Christmas roundup, we're unwrapping the absolute worst of the worst, the items that made me question cafes, cooking methods, and occasionally my own life choices. Let's get into it, the worst of 2025. Right then, let's start unwrapping this festive horror show with one of the biggest offenders of the year from the grain loft at Manchester Airport. It's the tomato. Looking back, this tomato still haunts me. Burnt on the outside, chewy to the bite, and once you got inside, it was just warm, slimy goop. Chewy on the outside, gloopy in the middle. It's like eating a burst blister wrapped in a rubber. And if I wasn't filming, there's no chance that I've even eaten it. Truly shameful, and the only item this year that earned itself a penalty point for being, frankly, a missing item. Score, 0 out of 10, minus 1 penalty point. And after that disaster at the grain loft, we head over to Café Brigante, where things could quite possibly have ended with a case of botulism. Yes, the infamous mini saucepan of doom. I remember liking the novelty of the little pan, but that's where the positives ended. From the first forkful, it was obvious something was wrong. Cooled down, strange acidic flavour, almost vinegarish. I even raised it with the manager and later the chef, who insisted nothing was wrong with the batch. But alas, they were ultimately declared inedible. Easily one of my worst bean experiences of the year. Score, 0 out of 10. Next up is the poached eggs over at Marks & Spencer's Cafe in Pudsey. Now the menu promised some soft poached eggs. What I actually got looked closer to hard-boiled eggs that had just had the shells removed. They'd clearly been sitting for a while before being served, cooking in their own heat. Eggs are usually my favourite part of the breakfast, but these, utterly disappointing. Score, a firm 0 out of 10. Staying with the egg theme, but this time fried, we're back at Café Brigante for some pretty poor fried eggs. We got 2 eggs stuck together, the whites are passable, but the yolks are completely obliterated. Yes, mistakes happen, but should these ever have left the kitchen? Absolutely not. What self-respecting chef would ever serve these up? Just bad form all round. Score, 1 out of 10. Let's move on to something crispy, or in the case of Bramley Cafe, too crispy. It's their hash browns. These came out very dark, overly crispy, and carrying a burnt, oily taste. I later learned they'd been cooked in a backup fryer due to a malfunction with the main one. Unlucky, yes, but I can only score what's in front of me. We may give Bramley Cafe another go in near future, who knows, things may have improved, as this was the only poor item on the plate that day. Score, 0 out of 10. And from burnt to bland, we move over to Asda Cafe in Pudsey now, taking a look at these sausages. One of the links looked like someone had taken a bite out of it before serving and decided it wasn't worth the effort. And honestly, I agreed with them. Soft, mushy, tasteless, a very forgettable sausage and one of the lowest scores of the year. Very poor indeed. Score, 1 out of 10. And while we're on the topic of meat, let's look at the bacon at Bloom's Kitchen in Tongue Garden Centre. And after being pleasantly surprised by their sausages at this particular cafe, I had hopes for the bacon, but unfortunately it didn't follow suit. They were thin, bit dry, sitting in a pool of grease yet somehow lacking flavour. This left both myself and my lad who was there with me that day with a bit of a flat palate. Really disappointing stuff. We did expect much better. Score, 3 out of 10. Now back at the grain loft again, where things weren't getting much better after that tomato. This time, it was the turn of the mushroom. Or did we even get a mushroom? Technically, yes we did. One small flat cap job, watery but edible, barely. A bit of a deja vu moment from our recent Wetherspoons encounter, just a little worse. Score, 1 out of 10. And yes, we spring back to Café Brigante again. Even the basics weren't safe. This time, the toast. Dry, unbuttered, and no butter offered either. One side toasted, the other forgotten, cold, bland. Just a total disappointment. Very poor. Score, 1 out of 10. And still at Café Brigante, the fried bread didn't fare much better. Granted, it wasn't on the menu, but they did kindly offer to make some, and we got half a slice each. It was clearly something the chef wasn't used to making. It wasn't great, but they made a fair attempt. And for those reasons, I opted to score it 0 out of 0. Just a little rare moment of mercy from me on that one. Next up, we're over at Mimo's in Baildon, looking at the Spam. And actually, this was one of the few items here that wasn't awful. It was tasty enough, but it was wafer thin and lacking substance. But still, the flavour carried it to a respectable score of 5 out of 10. And staying at Mimo's, the black pudding definitely didn't shine. A single slice about the same thickness as the Spam. It looked decent at first glance, but cutting in revealed very little interior moisture or substance at all. A really poor excuse for black pudding here. Score 1 out of 10. Right, time to wrap this up with the two big categories, and both from the Grain Loft in Manchester Airport again. First up, it's the presentation. Looking back, the presentation was a warning sign from the start with this one. Burnt tomato, tired chips, eggs dumped on top of each other, beans plonked with no care. It gave me buyer's remorse before I'd even picked up a fork. This one has got 0 out of 10. And finally, value for money. Yes, even accounting for airport pricing, £16.99 for that breakfast was just outrageous. No love, no effort, and nothing to justify the cost. One of the worst value plates of the entire year. Score 0 out of 10. And for the final Breakfast Club score category, we actually have two breakfasts. Time for the honour of the lowest score overall. Both the aforementioned Grain Loft at the airport and Asda Café. These sat firmly as the lowest of the low at 24%. Now, just for fun, and to keep to our usual format, let's tally up the total scores here and see where we land. So our very worst combined breakfast of 2025 scores a total of 12 points out of a maximum of 130. And putting that into percentage, our just for fun final Breakfast Club score comes out at 9.2%, placing it firmly inside our avoid rating bracket. And that just about wraps up the worst of 2025. A year filled with brilliant breakfasts, but also some truly shocking moments. The kind that make you question how certain items ever left a kitchen. But that's the joy of the Full English Breakfast Club. The highs, the lows, and everything in between. Thank you for spending part of your Christmas day with me. I hope your own breakfast today was far better than anything we've seen here. And I'll see you on New Year's Day for part 2. The best of 2025. So from all here at the Full English Breakfast Club, I wish you a Merry Christmas and I'll see you in the next one. So if you've enjoyed this video and you like what we're doing, the best way to support us is to like, share and subscribe. It's free to do and really helps the channel grow. And as always, may your bacon be sizzling, your fried bread golden and your yolks runny. Thanks for watching and be sure to check out one of our other reviews showing on screen right now.